Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got something really interesting for you. A coin that might not look too special at first glance, but its story is full of history, surprises, and even a little controversy. We're talking about the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin. Back in the late 1970s, the U.S. government wanted to replace the big and heavy Eisenhower dollar. That coin was just too large for everyday use, and nobody really liked carrying around. The idea was to create a smaller and lighter $1 coin that people could actually use in daily life. Now came the big decision. Whose face should be on this new coin? The choice was groundbreaking, because for the very first time in U.S. history, the portrait of a real woman was placed on circulating coinage. That woman was Susan B. Anthony, a fearless activist who spent her entire life fighting for women's right to vote. When the Susan B. Anthony dollar was released in 1979, it made history. But it didn't take long for people to complain, because the coin looked almost identical to a quarter. Same color, almost the same size. People kept confusing them, and that made the coin very unpopular in circulation. But here's the twist. What people rejected back then has now become a collector's treasure. Some versions of this coin are common, but others are rare enough to be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, and that's what makes this coin so fascinating. If we take a closer look at the design, on the front side you'll see the portrait of Susan B. Anthony herself. Above her head is the word Liberty, and to the right the words, "In God We Trust." At the bottom is the year 1979. Surrounding the portrait are 13 stars, a tribute to the original 13 colonies. Flip the coin over, and the backside is just as impressive. You'll see an eagle landing on the surface of the moon, holding an olive branch in its claws. This design represents the Apollo 11 moon landing and the spirit of peace. Above the eagle are the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, and at the bottom it says $1. The coin itself is made of copper nickel with a copper core. It weighs about 8.1 grams and measures 26.5 millimeters across. While it's technically round, the edges were designed with an 11-sided border to give a unique look and feel. So even though it didn't succeed in everyday use, you can't deny it was a bold and symbolic design. Now, let's talk about the different varieties of this coin. The most common type is the 1979 P narrow rim from the Philadelphia Mint. These are very common and usually don't hold much value beyond $1 or $2. But there's another version called the 1979 P wide rim, also known as a near-date variety. Here the date appears closer to the rim, and because fewer of these were made, this version is much more collectible and can bring in big bucks. Then there's the 1979 D coin from the Denver Mint, marked with a D. Most of these are common as well, but uncirculated versions can fetch a higher price. And then we have the San Francisco Mint, which produced the proof coins. These are easy to spot because they have a mirror-like shine and sharper details, made especially for collectors. Among the proofs, there are two types. Type 1 has a blurry S mint mark, while Type 2 has a sharp and clear S. The Type 2 proof is rare and highly sought after. Depending on the condition, this one coin alone can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So how much are these coins worth today? Well, if you got a circulated Susan B. Anthony dollar from 1979, it's usually worth just $1 to $5. Nothing too exciting. But if you got one of the rare versions, that's where the value really jumps. The 1979 P wide rim in excellent condition can sell anywhere from $100 to $500, and the 1979 S Type 2 proof is the real star, with prices that can go well into the thousands. Other mint marks like the 1979 D or the Type 1 proofs usually aren't as valuable, but still make great pieces for collectors. At the end of the day, the value of any coin comes down to three things: its condition, its rarity, and the demand among collectors. A flawless uncirculated coin can be worth many times more. Rare varieties always bring higher prices. And of course, when collectors are actively looking for it, the price goes up even more. The Susan B. Anthony dollar might have been considered a failure when it was first released, but today it's a celebrated piece of U.S. history. Beyond its value, it reminds us of Susan B. Anthony's fight for equality, and it connects us to America's greatest scientific achievement, the moon landing. This small coin tells a big story. It's a symbol of courage, progress, and history, and whether you own one or not, it's a reminder that even the smallest things can carry the biggest meaning. Coins like the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar also teach us an important lesson about how history changes the way we look at things. Back then, people rejected it because they didn't like how similar it looked to a quarter. It was considered inconvenient, even a failure. But today, collectors see it in a completely different light. Now it's respected as a piece of history, as the very first U.S. coin to honor a real woman, and as a coin that connects us directly to the story of women's rights and the space age. That's the beauty of collecting. Sometimes the most overlooked things end up becoming the most valuable treasures. For anyone who has one of these coins at home, it's worth taking a closer look. Even a small detail, like the shape of the rim or the style of the mint mark, can make a huge difference in value. So before you spend it or toss it aside, check carefully. It might be worth far more than just a single dollar. And even if you don't have one, learning about these coins reminds us of stories that money can carry. It's not just metal. It's history, it's progress, and it's a snapshot of the time it was made. So the next time you see a Susan B. Anthony dollar, remember that it's more than just a coin. It's a piece of the American story, a tribute to a woman who fought for equality, and a reminder how far we've come. And who knows, the one in your pocket might just be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered.